All right, everybody. I think we're ready to roll.
All right.
We're joined by Mark Midland. Got some chill vibe music to set the stage. I am actually at Keeneland. Of course, can't show the live races, unfortunately, from my camera, but we'll have coverage from the track via the feed and some wagering
We're
thoughts as
you in
well.
the jocks room? Where are you hiding out?
Actually, they had a room in the press box I was able to sneak into. So
All right.
repping I guess backwards. I don't know how to fix that on here, but repping the kids' school on a cold day.
All right.
But great crowd.
Yeah. And big pick six carryover. I'm already out after two.
I'm live.
All right. That's what we want
Yeah.
to hear.
Super thin to win though.
Oh yeah.
Well, coverage until I'm thin. It's a cold double to close it out.
All right.
So,
Wow. All right. Now I'm intrigued. What's your cold double to close it out?
as John McGarry of Louisiana Downs would say, a couple of breadsticks. 1-1.
All right. Integration to the Fletcher in the last.
Yeah, and
Okay.
admittedly, there was an audible because I thought the last was a little more open than just the Pletcher. A buddy of mine loved the Pletcher before all the scratches, but I actually lost all three of my top picks to scratches, and
Wow.
um, I don't know, comment in the chat because it happens to all of us in various ways, but. Uh, sometimes when I don't really like a horse anyway, and you sort of scratch into him, you're kind of like, eh. But in this case, when I lost all three, and part of the reason was I just was kind of going against Pletcher. I didn't think he'd be 5-1. I thought he'd be
Right.
lower anyway than the morning line. So thought I had maybe some looks against, but when all three scratched, it's kind of like I'm not going to force it past the three I liked, and
Yeah.
we'll take a shot.
So I shouldn't tell you that I left both those horses off my ticket.
No, but I mean, for me, it was just, I mean, I like that was a stand from my
Yeah.
point, but I mean, I'm not naive to the fact that A, if you think Carl Spackler is a world beater, then that's your single. And B, if maybe you think both are vulnerable, of course you're going to go against them at short prices. So I get it. There were other spots. I went deeper, and in order to do that, I needed to take a stand, and integration was it.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Um, I thought that was a really intriguing Maker's Mark mile with, Northern Invaders coming off a really hot pace line and, one of its best career races. And Tricari, I don't know, might like the soft going a little bit better. And I don't expect him to win, but that was one I didn't want to miss out on if
Yeah.
get a
Uh,
better
I
price.
believe it was it Derby Day last year.
Yeah.
Tricari got me, so it was definitely in my head that I'm going against this horse again, and not going to pretend like he doesn't fit. And he's a big price, so some people might be saying, well, if you like him a little, why wouldn't? But it was just one of those. There were some prices I wanted to use, like the 9 in the last race, that a couple other people were playing along. I had two people say that was their last cut in that race. But because I singled integration, that I didn't need to cut in
Yeah.
certain spots. So not saying it's going to work out, but for now I'm happy to be live to the horse I like best, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Keep it rolling for sure. All right. Well, great. Well, I'm glad we're on board here for the first of our 3 Fridays that we've got planned in the hopper. Do a Keeneland Friday webcast sponsored by AmWager. Excited to work with AmWager and show off some of the cool things that they've got in the arsenal on for horse players on the platform.
Yeah, it's someone, we all play differently, and for me, having the tools to just sort of spell out the will pays and exactas and doubles. I mean, every site has that, and they're on the feed. But to be able to sort of look at it in one module with your capital, the amount you're willing to bet, and just kind of tinker around with, okay, well, if I do this, does it increase what I can make in my ticket? Am I betting against myself? And it's an eye opener. And even if you don't play certain wagers when you sort of put it through that Dutching tool and you realize, oh man, when I add a fourth horse to this exacta, it's actually hurting my ROI. It's kind of illuminating and really hammers home the need to zero in on your stronger opinion. So, even if in certain cases you're not playing all the tickets you construct, just to see what adding horses does to the ROI, I think is a good exercise for bettors.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to having you show all of us how to use the Dutching tool. I mean, I get it. I've used it a couple times, but I haven't used it to the extent you have. I haven't used it successfully. And like you said, it's a cool tool in a lot of ways. So we'll get into that later. But we should probably talk about this race coming up here.
Yeah.
All right. And oh yeah, we've got some odds there. Wow, 2-1 on the 12.
Yeah, that's
8-1 morning line.
I'm a little surprised to see that low.
You are or you aren't?
I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the 6 made sense, and I haven't checked the imputed, so I'm not sure where these will land ultimately. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, She's So Spicy, probably going to be the favorite, but yeah, Kilwin right there at a bigger morning line price. So for me governor at 15-1, just playing the board from a win end standpoint, that'd be where I go. And I recognize there's a lot of speed here, and this one's on the outside, but outside speed, stay out of trouble. Going to have to be a little better if it ends up with a wide trip, but the numbers say this one fits, and the double pool says we're going to get double-digit odds. So that's where I'm leaning.
I'm trying to blow my screen up there. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I was kind of looking for closers with all the speed in here, so I was looking at the 12 and 10 sort of as my top plays, but oh, it flipped on me. So just wanted to pull up, talking about the odds. It's a little bit there over my head, right above my head there. The true odds on AmWager they do a really great job. So when you look at stuff like the 12 being 2-1, okay, it's back to 5-2. They're saying true odds are 3 and a nickel. So if you're thinking like that's one that's going to float back up to closer to the morning line, well, probably not. So it gives you a nice prediction. I mean, this is a big field, so maybe the odds are a little bit more stable. We'll see.
Yeah, so the left-hand column, when for AmWager, the true odds, are they projecting, or with all the information known right now, that's basically how it's being played?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're projecting with what's known at this moment in time. See how it just went down to 3.04? So just a small adjustment. Yeah. As money's coming in the win pool, or as we're getting closer, it's using the doubles and the pick 3 will pays, and then combining everything with the win pool. So
got it.
Yeah. So I think what's great about that, we can talk about the odds changes and how much of a pain they are, but this is a great tool that allows you to be a step ahead instead of a step behind, right?
Right. Yeah. And
okay,
I mean, people layman all the time about, I thought I was going to get this. And, our colleague Chris mentions the exchanges, which he's in a rare spot that he actually has access to those. Kentucky Joes like you and I don't, but AmWager puts it into focus as well with the true odds. So, if you're a win better, like that's the information I most want.
Yeah. So I interrupted you a little bit, but you were talking about you like the 6 and the 11.
Yeah, I mean, I went with the 6 on top, and the money's showing, and based on true odds, looks like we'll be favored. But I think 5-2 is okay. But I didn't really think he was that far apart from the 11, which looks like we're going to, maybe be a $20 horse. Now they're both speed, or have the ability to show some speed, so that's a little bit of a question mark. But the the pace projector says the 11 can sit off. So ground loss to me more of an issue maybe than pace for me, Governor. The 11, but the 6 certainly in my mind has the ability to go gate to wire, and the 8 is really being overlooked. And how much time to the race?
It says a minute, so maybe
about a minute,
maybe 2.
Yeah, let me pull up my. Can you?
Yeah.
It's up. Mine.
Yeah.
Let me get the right race there. Those are losers. We're losers.
Well,
okay. So, yeah, but like real quick, these exacta Dutch, and the 12 at this price, I'm willing to throw out. So the 4 I like would be 6, 8, 10, 11. And normally I'd say boxes are for shoes. But, we do have a short price horse out. Now, a lot of people, okay, box 4 horses, you have an equal strength, but the Dutching tool allows you to, or allows AmWager, basically instructs it so that you can tell what you're comfortable betting. In this case, it'd be 100. You go down to 50. It'll tell you, oh, that amount of wager doesn't work. But expanding here, you could see that these are all the exacta combinations it comes up with, and it weights them. And to me, that's huge, because if you're tossing a favorite and playing a few in the exacta, I don't want equal strength. I want to, weight the more likely ones, and maybe you catch fire with the long shot.
Yep. No, I'm gonna go closers. So I'm going opposite. I'm going 4, 10, 12 on top, and then I'm gonna
the 4.
some supers.
I don't got that one anywhere.
I'm playing some supers with the 1 and 2 as potential prices to kind of get in there underneath. I don't know. The turf route was all closers. The turf route turf sprint yesterday was wired, so I don't know. We'll see. But it looked like there was a lot of speed here to me, so that's what I was kind of.
There is a lot of speed. I agree with that. I don't think it's cheap speed though.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I just was concerned.
Should have reminded people we are on a delay. So
yeah, I was concerned there was so much speed. So we'll see. So we got She's So Spicy on the lead with the 9, and looks like they might be cooking.
Yeah, I mean, other than the 9 though, not. I mean, 21 and 2's quick, but this is one I actually like these types of rides. I mean, maybe it doesn't work out, but if I'm on the 6, I don't want to let closers into the race.
No, for sure. For sure.
It looked like the 11 was going to trip out there and it was flat.
Yeah. Well, here goes 6 hanging on for a long time. Is he home? It looks like he's home. 6, 9. Yeah, 1, 2 all the way.
6, 9 blanket.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like these turf races have been like one or the other, right? Like they're either getting wired or they're closers from the deep, and it's not really in between. Like you don't want to stalk the pace and sit in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th kind of thing. Maybe just because they're off going.
Yeah, a ride. No surprise to get a good front end ride there, but maybe it's dirt happens a little more than turf, but it just gets so frustrating. Like you're rationing speed in a sprint, and in this case, if they go 22, okay, maybe he's still on the lead because he's a front runner, but all those horses who were in that blanket finish for 3rd are just that much a little closer.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is there was so much speed signed on there, and the 6, just went. Iran just sent and just got that uncontested lead. So not sure if anybody else was really trying to get with him. But yeah, I mean, like you were saying earlier, just throw it down. Yeah, it did look like the 5 was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the 11 as well had a move in him, and similar to what I mentioned anyway. Like I definitely thought he'd be wide, no matter what, and he had to take the overland route, but definitely didn't have the punch I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm trying to do, I don't know if it makes sense, but well, all right, yeah, the 6 and 11 both came from Gulfstream, and I think the Gulfstream turf horses are doing well here, although it's so hard to close a Gulfstream, and I think this track's fair that I'm trying to lean a little bit more towards closers from Gulfstream, but yeah, Irad got it out there, and she was winging it, and there was no catching. She's so spicy there. All right, so can you still pull up the Dutching tool?
Yeah. So I thought
that was kind of quick when you were showing.
Yeah, me. There we go. And I'm looking at this, not the screen. So if you want to ask me to do anything, I'm looking at the AmWager.
So what you were doing is you're saying I'm going to box these 4 horses in the exacta, but you were saying use the Dutching tool to you want to win the same amount, essentially, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, a big thing, and Steve Chris talked about this in his exotic betting book, and I mean, just in general, one of the complaints that sharps have about boxing horses is you're basically putting the same amount on each combination, and ideally you should be pressing the opinions you like best. And that's a little separate from this, admittedly, but nevertheless, like with the Dutching tool, and well, let me go to another.
Can you pop it up again, or is it will not work since the race is over?
It closed with the, so we'll have to wait till the odds populate in the next one. But yeah, with the Dutching tool, instead of having, if you're going to put, let's say a $4 exacta box on 4 horses, which is $48, instead of it being $4 on all 12 combinations,
right,
it's going to take that 48 and say, okay, well, this combination's paying $500 anyway, or 2 long shots, so you only need $1 or $2 on that, and in order to make up for it, we'll put the money saved, so to speak, on the favored combinations that you like.
So you're basically saying, okay, here's my horses. I like these 4 in first and second. I want to invest $48 in the exacta, and it's going to make all the bets to basically win the same amount, whether it's 48 to win, let's say $280 or whatever, right?
Right.
And so then,
okay. And depending on what you're putting into it, sometimes it's a case of the longest combination is still going to be a little out of whack. There are times I'll do this, like if I like a couple 20-1 horses, the dollar exacta might be paying $4.50,
right,
and that's way higher than anything else. But
it's trying to like equalize everything in a package bet to say, like, here's my input, which is $50, and here's my output is $220 or whatever. And so then, regardless of which combination it comes in, you win about the same.
That's right.
Yeah, which, to your point, it breaks it away from everything being equal. It does all the math, so you basically win the same amount. And yeah, so that works perfectly when you have roughly the same opinions. And yeah.
So like in this race coming up, there's a couple firsters. They have 4 stars from HRN. That's numbers 1 and 3. So they're in the mix for me. And then I thought Rare Art, was one of the better ones of the horses who have run, and Sweet Illusions.
No, you're on race 5 there.
Oh, I was like, I thought the 8 was Roja. I was right. Good for me. On the wrong race though. Yeah. So yeah, these are the firsters, 1 and 3. I was right about that. And then Roja, and then Snow White is the 9. And actually 5 is the bigger price. So I'm gonna use the 5 instead of the 9. But with the Dutching tool, okay, I'm comfortable. I want to bet $100. Oops. You do have to make sure you're on the right tab.
Yeah. And the true odds are helpful there. You can see that the true odds have the 9 as the favorite. It's like right above my head there, right? The 9 will go. He's 7-2 now, but will go down to 2.1, which obviously we're 21 minutes out, but it's still nice to know. But anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, so I have the $100 is the target total. It ends up being 97 just because of the way it's distributing the money. And then you could, when you click the plus there, you could actually see, and the ROI is robust. Payouts are anywhere from more than triple to nearly 5 times what you're putting in. But you could see the range there is pretty tight, all things considered. We're trying to beat a chalk, got a couple long shots, and basically it's anywhere from $3 on certain combinations all the way up to 14 based on what the payout's going to be. And as the race goes on, you get a sense from the true odds and maybe add or subtract. Another thing I'll do, like these are the 4 I like, especially 1, 3, 8, to be honest. So I like tinkering around too. Like, I didn't really love the 5, but I saw it was 12-1, so I kind of threw him on top. But okay, what's it look like if I just zero in on the 3 I really like, which is 1, 3, 8? Does that mean I can do a little something if the 9's in second? So you don't have to box it. You can do part wheels basically. And then you pull that up and see, I'm giving up some opportunity, maybe $200 with the 5 on top and no 9s anywhere. And then that's just up to the bettor. Like, you're handicapping. You have to decide for yourself what makes sense.
You're increasing your strike rate and your chances of hitting. But right there, you can see at the bottom, it's investing $14 into the 8-9 exacta. Above there,
there's a $20
into the 3-9. So it's really eating into your payoffs to have that favorite and second there.
Right. So seeing that, and again, that's just in my mind, seeing that says, all right, I don't love the 9. Clearly going to be favored based on the true odds. Like, let's gamble a little bit. And you can tone it down too. Like in this case, this is for 100, but you can do 50, and you can see it. It's about half what you would get for the 100, but you're only putting 50 into it. So yeah, I like it, and I find that it sort of extrapolates to the trifecta as well. They don't have a Dutching tool for that. You still have to go through and make the bet. But seeing this and seeing how much will pays are zapped by using the 9 in second, that makes me think, man, if I really key on a horse in the try and beat the 9 out of the number completely, it could really blow up. Or you may see it and say, I don't really think it's worth trying to beat the 9. Maybe even you sit it out. You don't want to get beat, but you recognize there's an underlay. That's not the case here. I'm definitely playing this race. I like the numbers I have, but it illustrates where the money is going in the race. And I have found the exacta and tries are correlated enough that it gets you in the ballpark.
Yeah. So you're saying it just shows you how much you're investing in like we're talking about that 9, how much it costs you even in second in the overall investment, the overall ROI. So you can decide whether you really want to do it or not.
Right. Now, in this case, because I do like the 3, I'm not separating the 4-star debut horses. And I do think Roja's the best of those who have run. So those are kind of my 3. I'm not really any narrower than that, but there are some cases where, let's say Play with Magic, who's 11-1 true odds. Let's say that was the only 4 or 5 star. Well, that might be a key. And then in that case, you roll in the 9 because I'm not using as many key horses, so to speak. And you could have a look with the 1. But because there's 3 horses I'm using and 2 of them are pretty well bet, that the Dutching tool showed me the 9 is just eating into my profits too much.
Okay, and the Dutching tool, is available for win, exacta, and double.
Win, exacta, and double. Yep. The win end, it's a little less sexy only because you're betting multiple horses. But it still has utility. Just kind of shows you where the value could be. If I wanted to, you kind of think of it as a pick 1 with the Dutching tool. Like that's kind of how I view it. And sometimes I will look. The 3 I like here, it's telling me for $98, ROI is about 92%. Just what is that, 9 to 10 basically. So sometimes I will think of it as an entry, like, oh man, if I could get even money on 138, is that worth it?
Well, if you get
rarely, yes, but it's worth looking at.
Yeah, I mean, you could totally use it to hedge. Like if you get through the pick, 5 of 5, and you're sitting on a pick 6, and you don't have 4 horses, you can what does it cost me to cover these?
Yeah, and if you hate Torpedo Anna tomorrow, it kind of in my mind, like she's going to be 1 to 5 probably.
Nobody hates Torpedo Anna.
Well, if you really think it's worth betting against her at 1 to 5, I could see where a tool like this, instead of worrying about, do I have to pick 1 horse? Maybe there's 2 or 3 you like, and if you want to put 50 on it, the Dutching tool will say, okay, here's how to, if either wins, you're going to win the same by beating a big odds on.
Yeah.
So, but as you can tell by all the iterations, this race in particular, I mean, I didn't think any of the ones who have run have been world beaters. Inside has been good on the main track. So to me, that's a solid 1-2 punch on the 1 and 3. Definitely concerned that the 1 is taking no money off that line, which I agreed with. That seemed about right. So it's a little bit of a concern, but 4 stars and the inside draw against a not so great field, I'm in.
Well, the ones that have to justify, right?
That's right. Yeah, out of Stage Magic. Is the one trained by Cherie? I don't have the program. Okay, and she is chilly, but she wins enough races and has enough good horses that she's not going to go for the meet. So why not here?
Yeah, it's just wow to be a half sister to justify and be going off at 11-1. That's really chilly.
Yeah,
that's about as icy as you get. The 3 is getting bet.
The 3 is getting bet. Yeah. And, I don't. There was a stakes winner in the pedigree. Obviously, nothing like Justify, but I do believe the Dam won first time out, and one of her progeny also won first time out. So some I don't know if precocity would be the right word since these aren't 2-year-olds, but they have one out of the box, and not sure what the chat thinks. Other handicappers, I know some people think that doesn't matter. Anecdotally, I found that horses who have a family with some solid history of winning first time out, to me at least, again, it's anecdotal. Maybe Chris can figure out a way to run this.
No, we ran some numbers. It's helpful. We ran the siblings, not the
okay.
Dam. It is
but I've definitely looked at races where horses are getting bet and there's like no first out winners anywhere in the female side of the pedigree, and I don't feel like I've ever really been bit tossing those horses. So
yeah, no, I mean there's not enough data when you're talking about 5 siblings that are 3 siblings, but if they have one first time out, then sure, that's a plus.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing. That's right.
Go back to for a moment.
Can I throw up some sire stats for the Maker's Mark Mile?
Screen share or image?
Yeah, I'll screen share it. And,
okay, I'll let you.
Let me draw. Like one of my favorite topics, not only the stats themselves, but the low data. So it's always interesting when there's not a lot of data. But so here's our sire stats. You may have seen these on the telecast at Gulfstream or Fairgrounds or some other tracks that we're partnering with. Now I've got it set to Turf Routes Firm, which obviously we're not today, but just for some perspective, because sort of the baseline of where these horses are at, and all the favorites are pretty much right in line in the 14 to 16% win percentage. So if we just kind of flip it to wet, there you go. So Tricari kind of stood out. I thought that was really interesting. Oscar performance, 30% win rate on basically 60 starts. That's actually not a small sample size.
No, I mean, and 30 to me is, I mean, it's smallish, I guess,
Yeah.
But considering there aren't that many wet rate, I mean, usually come off the turf in the States.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
significant. 17 wins out of 57. And then plus, like we've talked about, so our HRN impact of plus 80 over here, basically saying that, so what is it, 17 wins? So he probably should have won 10 according to the odds. And yet you got like 7 extra winners. So I thought that was really interesting. When Tricari kind of jumped up at a huge price on Derby Day last year, it was over the soft. Mm-hmm. I don't know. My take on this race was, I'm not a big Carl Spackler fan. He's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. As you pointed out, the price is kind of low. We were all over More Than Looks in the Breeders' Cup and beat him that day, which was great. But it just seemed like there was a lot of different ways this race can go. Northern Invader on the lead, just super quality horse improving. Maybe Carl Spackler's pressing, and then you've got Tricari coming a little bit further back, and then you've got Integration probably trying to close. And I don't know. So I was looking at this as a little more open, and I'm intrigued by the price on the 3 and then the 8.
I mean, I would say Tricari, that's the one I fear. I mean, not obviously Carl Spackler, single and Integration, you're taking a stand against one of the favorites, but you have to be like, you just live and die by that. And if Carl Spackler beats me, oh well. Like there was no way I was getting to him doubling the cost of the ticket.
Yeah.
But Tricari, there's no way I'd still be live if I had used both. And not that the same doesn't go for Tricari, but that's one of those that at the price he's going to be, you're just thinking, man, if I could have had a ticket live to him, that's where you get the life changer maybe. So,
well, yeah,
and how I feel when I get there. There's always a 3-1 exacta if I feel like hedging.
Well, and for most of us that aren't as lucky as you or as good as you being alive through these 3, which is great. I still actually like the 9 here, which I think you were trying to avoid because of price. But to give an example, the $2 double, the 9 to Tricari is like $80, and that's kind of a huge double.
And I definitely know that the 9 can beat me here, but I really thought the 8 Roa was. I mean, I would actually say better, but I recognize I might be wrong there at 6-1. So even let's say, okay, take it down a notch and they're similar. It just seemed like too much an opportunity to be able to use the 8
yeah,
there.
no, I'm not trying to Monday morning quarterback your ticket.
No,
but I'm saying most people aren't live, and if you're starting from scratch here, if you can get Tricari in the double, it doesn't really matter what you start with.
Why wouldn't you use the 9?
Yeah, and then I guess Northern Vader is even a little chillier. The 9-8 double is 104. So it's really it's all going through Carl Spackler and to some extent integration, but not nearly as much. So like you said, the opportunity if you can beat Carl Spackler is a good one.
I'll pull this back up only because there is is hinted at, but there is a Dutching tool for doubles as well. Similar to the you just put
break it out.
You know, for me, like in 138, you can kind of see, all right, you're beating the 9, who's the chalk. Is, you know, what does it look like if you're just leaning on Carl Spackler and integration? And I mean, it's 2-1. But at the same time, none of the 3 I'm using in the first leg, they're all higher than 2-1. So it's, you know, kind of like, am I giving something up? But if, you know, these are the other 2 I liked, and with Tricari, the 3, wow, I can use 5 in here and get 10-1 to Tricari. Now, I don't know what he's actually going to be, so I'd want to try to eyeball that. I don't want to take a risk in a double. This is the other good reason it's for. A lot of people will do this. So like, you know, I want to get live to Tricari. I'm going to use, you know, 4 or 5 in the double. Well, if he's 12-1 in the Maker's Mark Mile, what am I doing monkeying around with the 10-1 double?
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's true. Yeah, you just play him straight.
Yeah. And if he's 8-1, you'd say, it's worth a little boost because I don't like any of the horses I'm tossing. So I like it for that reason. You do the same with exactas. If you have a key horse in first, you could kind of see what it looks like. You know, am I getting value over the win pool? And that's a huge mistake. I would say up until now 10 years ago. So, you know, 15, 20 years of horse playing where you just kind of, you know, I'm going to key this horse in the exacta. And you realize time and again, like, wow, I got 8-1 on an exacta and the horse paid 7-1 to win. Like, was it worth the added risk? Exacta's a higher takeout.
No, you never want to add like these 1 to 5s or low price things to get additional. Yeah, you don't want to do that to take on additional risk. So this is what I was playing with, is starting with the 9 and trying to double into, you know, the 1, 3, 6, 8. That's kind of gross. That's kind of everything. But just for illustration, so I set it at $50, so it's 48 ROI, 277%. But if I take out Carl Spackler, now it's an 800% ROI, which I think gets a lot more interesting. Anyway, but you know, it depends on how you view it, right? So the 9 here sitting at 2-1, so basically that's a chance to turn a 2-1 into a 7-1. You know, is that worth the risk? I don't know. You know, but my inclination would be to take it into the 3-8, but yeah, that's a lot bigger opportunity there. Maybe I'd do that and like just get your money back on integration. I'm not a huge integration fan, but all right, what do we got? How many minutes?
I am today for now. 4 minutes.
Okay.
Who's
Let's see what that looks like.
Who's everyone out there in Chatland like in this
one?
Good I mean, he's my top pick, so I guess I'm supposed to be thrilled about the price on play with Magic, but to me that price says that this horse is not winning.
It's super chilly.
Yeah. So I think I'm in a spot. I mean, that's kind of feels like a hedge, like with the Dutching tool. Like I do feel like, for an Exacta especially, like there's no reason not to use it at that price because I like.
Yeah.
But I could see a scenario where, let's say there hadn't been another 4-star in here.
Yeah.
It's like, man, 9-2. Don't really like the horses who have run. Cherie, like, good connections. I'm gonna single this horse, and I'd be despondent right now if I were live
Yeah.
on a ticket, where I thought I had this cagey single and it were 14-1. So
Right.
I am still gonna use it in my Exacta, use her in my Exacta because I did pick on top in the 4 stars, but it's a bearish use, admittedly.
Bearish use. All right. I'm gonna let this Dutch double fly. I liked it, so I'm not gonna take it off the board. And that's pretty cool how it updates in real time to give you those exact amounts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the video for a second here. Yeah, I wanted to mention you talked about that 5. I thought that 5 was interesting, and I agreed. Maybe not so much to win, but I thought that's a nice horse maybe for the Exacta or a third in the try. Yeah, 14-1. Wow, that is chilly.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we'll see. It's up to 15. I mean, and maybe then it's one of those things we'll be watching the gates will open, it'll break on top and go down to 6.
Yeah, but not usually a first timer like that. And
that's true.
There's plenty of money in the pool.
The other thing, I mean, inside on the main track has been where to be. So, I don't think that's not nothing, but
yeah. In this last race, you talked about the 1, but I mean, I think there's still prices. I want to get something on the lead, so I was looking at some prices, maybe the 5 or 7 on the lead, the 12, really the 2. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I guess it's a little hard to project the prices with all the scratches in there.
In the last,
yeah. But all right, we're going in the gate. So
all right.
Good luck, everybody. And let's flip back to the odds.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean on 3 or 8 to be in the number, and if the one's with one of them, it'll be fine, and if not, so be it.
Okay. Yeah, let's see.
You got one left to load?
Yep. My video's slowing. All right. Like, is my video slowing down, or that horse just doesn't want to load in? All right. Looks like he's loaded.
They're at the post.
There's Roja on lead.
Yeah, Roja.
And
2
all right,
and
so
7 are going to check out.
6 has got the lead on the inside. As you were talking about the inside being a little better. And we got Saez on the 9. He doesn't want the 6 to get too far away. This is that chasing spot, though. We've seen a lot of horses not get there.
Yeah,
even
the leader kicks on for sure.
Kurt Becker even got fooled a couple races ago when he thought somebody was flying by.
Right on the 9, seems aware though. Made sure his horse stayed in touch. I wish Roja would have. I mean, maybe it's not good enough, but gave up some position there.
Yeah. And the 9 came down to 8-5, although $1.89 on the exact odds. Yeah, I mean, he used a lot to get there. This is going to be dicey, I think, for him to hold off the rest of these. And there's your 5. 4-5.
No fours though.
Yeah, I didn't have a 4. Oh, that's too bad. The 4's overcome adversity. That's a another firster, right?
Was it?
Yeah, that's the Matt Shire firster. Who, he had a couple really nice works. The 2 and 3 back. Yeah. Convincing too.
Yeah, I'm a little. I mean, I guess I was a little deterred, liking the other firsters better, but I mean, he didn't run well either. But Roja was the only horse who really caught my eye of those who have run. So
Yeah.
to be on 2 first-time starters and not just use the other, it's 17-1. Definitely,
it stings a little bit.
Feels like a missed opportunity at the very least.
Yeah, I hear you. I didn't really like the 1 or 3 that much, but yeah, I don't know. What are you gonna do? That's a big price for a firster on a non-2-year-old race.
Yeah, definitely spices up the sixer.
Yeah. Would need a lot more for a carryover, though. I guess if all the chalk went down in the Maker's Mark.
But I would say, given the size of the pool, man, I don't even know if there could be one. Maybe a couple $50 horses.
Yeah, you'd have to go really big. Yeah, what was the final pool?
1.5, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's massive. 1.35 in new money.
New money, yeah. That's
well. There's the 5 in second. We were right about that as a decent price play.
Yeah. No, and that's maybe knowing that the 1 was so dead on the board, say, okay, toss that 1, and then you get to the 5 is, that wasn't a terrible price. So
yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that one.
We're playing for consos.
All right.
Man, I can't get over the Cherie there being 16-1.
Yeah, that was chilly. I mean, that's another thing that's so tough about these tickets, right? You're playing a big pick 5 or pick 6 is like, if you knew that horse was going to be that price, would you even included it?
Right. Nah, I mean, I wouldn't have the way I played this ticket just because I could have used the horse elsewhere. But again, I think just looking back, my miss was, really getting excited. 2 4-stars in here. Don't really like the horses who have run. And to your point, like, at least you got to look at the other firster in that case. And as you noted, a couple works that could have sparked your interest. I mean, that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
Are you playing any of the horses behind him to win at this level?
No, that's why I was just going on the 9. I didn't care for the firsters, but yeah, I mean, once the 9 got blown up in the pace, things kind of opened up quite a bit. So, look at these prices. All right, dollar exact 171. That's pretty nice. Pick 3, $380. That's outstanding. I mean, I guess that's a pretty tough start to the. Is that well? No, let's see. We're in the middle of the pick six. Yeah, that's pretty tough. But we had a $7.80 horse to start. So really, the big price in that pick three is the 4 there. All right, looks like we lost Ed for a second. Ed, are you still there? He'll be back shortly. Maybe he got kicked out of the press box. All right, we're looking forward to the Maker's Mark Mile coming up next. Big feature. And yeah, I think Ed will rejoin us in a second. Yeah, that was a tough one. So our first timer report did not have that 4. Although it's been pretty hot. All the previous race, all the 2-year-old races were won by 5 stars on our first timer report, and had a 9-2 winner yesterday. And yesterday was really hot. We had two 5 stars in the afternoon. The first race was the 9-2 first timer at Keeneland, and then there was a 10-1 first timer at Gulfstream. So, all right. So we
had the 5-star at Laurel today.
That's right, the Laurel play of the day. Nice work on that one. Did it dominate?
I don't know. I was just waiting for the result to come in because out here at Keeneland, you know how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's look at the true odds here. So we got integration at 5, but maybe going off closer to 3. Carl Spackler. Okay, so 1 to 5 right now, but going off at 4 to 5.
Wow, odds on. I wasn't expecting that.
What the ROI tab come up like that? Well, that's because Ed is hitting this Dutching tool. Once you hit the Dutch, then when you start putting horses together, like he was doing a exacta Dutch. Yeah, so let's say, I don't know. I wouldn't really want to get Carl Spackler necessarily out of the exacta, but just for illustration. Yeah, so there's the ROI. So I think, does the ROI come up once you hit Dutch?
Once you populate wagers. So if you were to take the 6 out, like, let's see what happens if I beat Carl Spackler totally. You could see you go from 3 to 5 on your money to 7 to 2.
Yeah.
And think of the ROI. It's basically, if you play sports, it's somewhat similar to the plus. So if it's 400% ROI, that's like plus 400. If it's less than 100%, it's a negative. It'd be like minus 150.
So let's say if I was going to do a double, starting with Tricari. So he's true odds are saying Tricari is going to go off at 7 to 1, but I would probably do a double to the. I mean, my top choices were like 2-5, 7-12, and yeah, that's a pretty nice ROI. So that's about 14 to 1. So I'm basically taking a 7 to 1 Tricari and turning him into 14 to 1. But that next race is pretty open. So then you're like, okay, is that really worth the risk, right?
That's 15 to 1s.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you really have 2 hurdles to overcome because you're going to be right. Even if you're right about Tricari, then you're sweating beating the chalk.
Right.
So yeah, that's the question. It's like, 8 to 1 on Tricari, and you're getting even money against the chalk, which, if it's 2 to 1, even money against them is actually really good. So
yeah, it's like basically these are $800 payout. So put it a different way, 50 to win on Tricari is going to give me close to 400. If I risk it again to this group, I can double it, but then it's like you would hate to have him win and then miss and just say I would have rather had the 400.
Right.
Okay. So that makes you a little uneasy.
I mean, only because I just kind of think after the scratches, it's not my opinion, but I do think based on what I saw there that you're getting the right value for beating the favorite.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of you want to be right about Tricari and push the risk.
Right. All right, let me ask you this. So how about, what if I take Tricari in third? What if I take Tricari in every spot? So let's just say I go 168 over the 3. It's not going to pay much if Carl Spackler wins, but maybe I don't weight it anymore for the 6. So I'm kind of really hoping for the 1-8. Then use the swap legs. Swap 3 in second.
So in this point, at this situation, you could do a power box.
Okay.
Do you see that under try?
Yeah.
And you don't have to swap that. Okay. A
Okay.
power box is saying 3 in every position with 1-6-8 in every position.
Got it. Well, what I do a lot of times, what I would maybe do here is just, I like Tricari a fair amount, but let's say I was a little more lukewarm on him. Maybe I would take $4 in third, then, swap legs here, put him in second, maybe do that for $2, right? And then, maybe on the win, I just bet to win, because obviously you'd hate to get, you'd hate to miss that if he wins, and
right.
But basically scaling back the investment. I like him to hit the board a lot, so maybe I invest $30 with him running third, $20 with him running second, and $10 with him running or winning.
The one thing I'd be thinking about with him, and it's some gambling, but basically it's okay if Tricari wins, fine. If it's 1-6 or 6-1, like you got the tough one in the top spot.
Yeah.
But to me, if integration, and especially if Carl Spackler wins, and Tricari second or third, I'd want to gamble where basically one of the other two are out. So 6-3-2, 6-3-7, 6-3-8.
Yeah.
1-3-2. 1. So, but both favorites can't be in the number unless Tricari wins.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I actually like that more when the field's a little bigger.
Right. I agree. I'm not really a fan of the 2. Also in the 4, also the soft turf numbers on the 4 are not great. But it's a small field. It's a 7-horse field, so you're right. Stranger things have happened, and I think the 7 is, in really good form right now. So that's, 20 to 1, 21 to 1's a big price, but it's the true odds are saying that he's going to settle down at 13 to 1. So not really a crazy price.
Yeah, and the true odds on Tricari, they're less than 7. And that's another, you're still reading tea leaves, but and with CRW, like especially on weekdays, maybe not a grade 1 stake like this on Friday, they spread it pretty good. Like they're getting the price they want in all the pools. When you're talking about this level, I do think that you can, sometimes one or the other is going to offer you a better price marginally. I'm not saying Tricari is like going to be 12 to 1 in the exacta, but I could see where a horse like that maybe takes a little more action in the win pool, connection play, whatever, shorter field, and maybe in the exacta, and I will,
Yeah.
See what the Dutching, but maybe there he's going to be 8-1 and not
Right.
have as much of the pool. And, that is a situation where, especially I would say, yeah, I like Tricari. I want to bet him to win. What's it look like if I, Integration or Carl Spackler are going to be second? They're just better than the rest. What can I turn Tricari into? And, at that point, you just have to decide if it's worth it. But
that's a good point. Like, here's Tricari in second. So if I wanted to do about $30 investment and just use the exacta, and I would think pretty comfortably the 168 would wrap up the win spot if you ran second. But that would be a way to, I guess, just really not have an opinion on the first three, right?
Right. A 136 exacta right now is 4-5, which I don't know. Considering Carl Spackler's 4-5 to win, like
which exacta?
A 136 exacta box.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, you want to share and pull that one up?
Sure. Yeah, so that's what's up right now. It's 136. And you see over here, 75%, so a little less than 4-5. But that's interesting to me. And what makes it interesting to me is, like, I hear that, I was like, 4-5 on, that exacta box seems super logical. Like, I thought it'd be a little lower. But Tricari keyed over those two, like I talked about, is a little better than 9-1. Now, if the true odds are right, that's a decent premium over the 6.76. But he's 8-1 right now. Like, the win odds, you're not getting anything out of keying him on top of the two logicals. Very little boost. It's kind of like saying you have Tricari to win, and then you're basically getting 2-5 on Integration or Carl Spackler to finish second. That makes a lot more sense to me. Like, I get it. Yeah, they would be 2-5 as an entry to finish second if neither of them win. And then when you look at the exact, and you're like, wow, I could just get 4-5 and have it in any order. I don't know. That I feel like I'm missing something, that it would be that high and I'm that enamored with it. But again, it's a good way, even if you're not going to play it, to kind of see how others are playing the race, and helps you zig where others can zag.
Yeah, it's kind of a better way than just trying to, like, go blind reading the exacta grid, right? Just dial up what you're thinking about, and see how it kind of measures.
Yeah, and like another fun thing, the things we find enjoyable, but totally, if you say, man, can I be Integration and Carl Spackler? And I went up to 200 just because it gives it more, spread it around. That helps ROI sometimes, and it's a little better than 4-1. And I don't know, like, my first thought is, I'm not sure that's that great. Like, 4-1 to beat both horses out of the exacta.
Yeah,
That doesn't seem good to me.
You're not sharing your screen currently?
Oh, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think if you share it, it'll kick mine off, right?
That's what I thought. How about now?
No, let's see. I'll stop mine. How about that? Let's see if that helps.
Right. One more time with feeling.
It looks like a great crowd out there, and chilly.
Oh man, I was telling the people up here in the press box. Is it sharing now?
No.
What the heck?
It looks like it's on the bottom. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. All right. I was telling the people here, like, if there were a way to a multivariable of Friday attendance when it's cloudy. I mean, the weather's not great. It's in the 40s. The sun's not out. I would have to think this is the best weekday attendance they've had with no sun. It's. I mean, this is this is the type of crowd I would have said I expected if it was 70 and sunny. So I'm kind of glad it's not, because I'm not sure it can handle many more people. But it's great. With scholarship day, college kids are having a blast. We're gonna get a winning ticket here. So what I was saying is, you know, one of the things I like about the Dutching tool is you kind of get a sense for how people are playing. This is the one sit, so you know, super chalky, top two exacta box,
Right.
and it's not bad. I mean, you know, a little better than 2-1. Now, you know, integrations 3-1, so you're paying a tax for, you know, Carl Spackler basically to be in both positions. But the reason why I kind of say, oh, it's not bad, is doing the same and having them run out is only, air quotes, only 4-1.
Sure.
And you know, yeah, 5-horse exacta box in a 7-horse field is terrible. I'm not advocating for that anyway. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it just to me illustrates, you know, there are people who are going to box maybe 4 horses in here and use one of the favorites even. So it really tells you how it eats at your expected value when you use too many horses.
Do every combination except Carl Spackler winning and see if it's still positive.
It is not.
Minus 23%. Okay.
Yeah. And if you take them out, you do get 1 to 5, which doesn't seem great. Like, you know, think about it. Like if someone were to say, hey, you know, what will you give me on Carl Spackler not being in the top 2? And if you were to say, well, you know, now it's 1 to 4, you know, they probably wouldn't be too interested.
No, you would think it's remote, right? It's 10% chance less.
But you know, I will say, you know, this where the Dutching tool, another thing it does, or at least illustrates, not necessarily playing it this way, but if you were to just box those 6, it would cost you $30. And there are definitely combinations here that for $1 pay less than 30.
Yeah, you'd be underwater and some. It's a mess. So it's that's sweet how it does that all for you.
Yeah, so it's at least you know, distributing it in such a way where if you have an opinion and you see the ROI that you're like, yeah, that seems fair. I think that's an overlaid payout. You know, one click of the button and you're good. I think I was kind of feeling the 136. Is it still 4 to 5? That's what started this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just shy of 4 to 5. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if the 4-8 go out, I'm 4-8. The 7-8 go out after each other a little bit. That's probably the most likely 3.
The struggle there is, you know, if Dracari does get in there, you've cost yourself for sure. But I don't know. I need to think about it. I mean, the other thing is integration over those two. I mean, that's kind of interesting. You're getting a little better than 5 to 1. Integration's going to be 5 to 2 or 3 to 1. Is there a premium there? I think so. You're getting even money on either Tricari or Carl Spackler to be second.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. All right. So yeah, that's fun with the Dutching tool.
Yeah, no, that's great. It really
kind of like tomorrow, I'm definitely gonna, and I don't know that I have a wager. Mike Shuddy, super screener. We have an article up on HRN. He has I forget the name of the I have the fair odds. I think I can pull up. That'll jog my memory. Free Like a Girl. He has a cold exacta, so that's not a wager you need the Dutching tool for. But I definitely think it'll be fun tomorrow to see, like, oh man, if I can beat Torpedo Anna on top, like, is it worth having her second? Do I totally gamble and maybe a 3-5, because those are my two most likely winners after her? Like, what's that pay? It'll be fun in that type of pool, like to see how those bets get paid. That bet gets paid.
And you saw in the last year on the one, and there was
I'm not. I mean, I was on the one from a single, and it stinks I'm not alive, because that it came in the right prices where you can be excited about that type of cold double to close out a pick six. Yeah. But I don't think I'm going to get to the last race, see the price on the one, and be excited to play.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the 11? I guess the one's the favorite. The 11
in the last
the choice. Yeah, in the last.
Yeah. Any clues in the double how they're going to bet it? I think the 11 would be interesting if he doesn't. If there's a wide spread, sort of like here, integration at 5-2. I like. So if the 11's 5-2 and the one's 3-5, it's kind of like, maybe 11's being overlooked. I think they'll be a little closer though. And
the 6-1 is 14 and the 6-11 is 16.
Yeah. I mean, being that close, I prefer the one.
Okay. I think that's your video that's making the noise.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Usually I can hear it.
What? Yeah, why don't you flip to the odds board? Yeah, I think I might do a Dutch double a couple ways. Let's see. The time here. I mean, there's just no speed in that last race. 11's got some fast workouts. He broke slow last time. Thought he was a possibility. I mean, I thought the 5. I mean, there's worse, crazier things than that. Even the 2. I don't know.
Why aren't they? I mean, yeah, I'm surprised to see Silent Heart so high. And here's an example, like, with integration, I'll throw in 2 of the other long shots, but with Carl Speck, like, it just eats at the ROI, and take him out, and boom, you're up to, man. That's kind of interesting. So integration or Carl Spackler. So somewhat punting on, one of the 2 good ones are going to win, but then kind of like, oh, who can one of them be beat for second? 5-2 though doesn't really get the juices going in that situation.
No.
Does it for you?
Not really. No.
Yeah.
So I'm playing
like this one.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. 9-2.
All right. I'm going to play Takari 3rd in the try, 2nd in the exacta, and then I'm going to play him in doubles.
Yeah, this is it. Almost 5-1.
All right. They're almost ready to go. What? A couple more horses left.
Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile.
All right, let's do it. Good luck, everybody. Oh, there's some pace for the 8. Nope. Is he going to clear? Can hear the Kurt Becker in the background there a little bit.
Yeah, a little muffled. I heard definitely could hear last race. I heard the crowd pretty good turning for home.
Yeah. Looks like they're moving, but it's it's a grade 1 mile, so
23-3.
That's not that fast for Northern Invader here. It's pretty uncontested there for is it Jose on the lead? Yeah.
West Point, don't they have a piece of integration too?
Yeah, so they're 1-2. Integration's really close. Or oh no, that's the 7. I'm sorry, no, I forgot. There's no saddle towels here.
Yeah, and the 7 has the vertical. So
yeah,
he let Carl get the jump though.
Yeah,
you're not running Carl Spackler down.
Jakari's gonna have a little bit of say. No, guess not. No, not even close. Nobody's touching him.
6-1-3 was the play. Just line them up.
There you go. All right, tough to beat him.
Yeah, that was that's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that was a good.
That is I mean, pending Euro participation as always, but that is definitely an early favorite for the Breeders' Cup Mile.
Yeah. Although I don't know, he didn't really have that much resistance to More Than Looks last year.
Yeah, that was a really fat. I mean, I think that was just a really good race.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure it was. But I think though that's the difference. Sometimes with the Breeders' Cup races, you just get these deep fields and these hot paces, and what works in 7-horse fields like this doesn't necessarily work in an 11-horse, Breeders' Cup where they're just like gunning it. That's why I didn't like Carl Spackler last year. Was he just every race was a slow pace for the most part. In fact, every race pretty much was a slow pace last year until he got to the Breeders' Cup, and it was what are you going to call it? A gigantic pace, and he sat 4th by 2, and he finished 6th by 2 and change. He got beat by 5 horses.
Right.
More Than Looks just came from way off it and just rolled by everybody.
So yeah, I mean, in retrospect, I mean, you could have got 4 to 5 in the win spot, and with him drawing off, that probably was all you needed. But I mean, I definitely don't hate the thought that the 136 box was basically 4 to 5.
Yeah.
And the second and third horses were behind him.
Yeah.
Would I have liked to seen integration be a little closer and be able to move with Carl? Yeah, I mean, tactically that probably gives you your best chance, but I'm not gonna pretend integration was ever gonna win today.
Yeah,
that was good.
No, it was a great race. Yeah. But I will be lining up to try to beat this horse.
There will be other opportunities.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll run. I mean, Old Forster's 3 weeks back. He ran in it last year, but
yeah, maybe. Yeah, we could see a lot of these back.
I forget what. I mean, at Saratoga, the Chipers 6 and the Manhattan's a mile and a quarter. I don't think there's a mile race Belmont week, is there?
It doesn't ring a bell. But it's got to wait for the 4-star Dave or something at Saratoga.
Yeah, that seems like. I mean, he had a great campaign last year.
Yeah.
I just don't know what's next. The Wise Dan.
The poker. Okay, so the poker is Belmont weekend, but it's a grade 3. And remember that he got beat by Ice Chocolate, and
I do remember that.
Chocolate was 24-1, and somehow
Cassie walked the dog, right?
Yeah, it just ended up on the lead, walking the dog against Talk of the Nation, Casa Creed, and Carl Spackler, and that was crazy. But last year, he ran Derby week, then he went looks like Belmont weekend, if not Belmont Day, the poker. Then he came back July 13th in the Kelso at a mile, and then so just there's races at a mile at Naira. All 3 of those were at Saratoga, but there was grade 3, and not grade 1.
6138. The official results.
Which that's just that's the next grade 1 anyway. So
okay, there you go.
But thinking about it too, that like they shouldn't all be grade 1s anyway. So
what's the race before the Derby? It's not, which alcohol is it named for this year?
Old Forester.
The OFO.
The OFO, yeah. Mile and an eighth.
Yeah.
But grade 1.
Yeah. So at a mile on turf, he's now 7 for 9.
Dang.
At a mile and a 16th, he's 2nd, 8th, and a win. But, I don't know. Why not run him at a mile and 8th?
Yeah, it's hard to think he couldn't handle that based on this.
All right, so what are we looking at for Will Pays and our defunct pick 6s?
They're probably not too bad.
The one's
is it official yet?
Yes. The one is 15,000.
The official winner of Keeneland's
favored
9th and featured race, 37th running of the Maker's Mark Mile.
The 2, 11, and 12 are 30.
Number 6, Carl Spackler, owned by the E5 Racing Thoroughbred, the Robert Edge, trained by Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt.
Are you speaking
jockey? Carl Spackler, 5-year-old son of
No, does it just sound that way?
Out of Zendaya, bred in Ireland.
I keep forgetting to hit mute when I switch back to that. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
So 15,000.
Yeah, 15,000 to the 1, and then 28 to 30 on the 2. Was the 2, 12, and 13, or 2, 11, and 12? Sorry.
And one thing too, like I try to remind myself this with the shortish fields. Like, to me, dollar exacta almost 4 to 1. The dollar try was 1560, so you basically got 2 to 1 to get Tricari in third, and that's okay if like you played it cold, which certainly isn't out of the question. But a lot of people use a couple in third, and it's like, even as chalky as the 6-1 was, like when you start eating away at the try in a short field, you're betting against yourself again. So
yeah, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get out in the last.
That's a good plan. To get out. How about, all right, how would you like, I got a get out special for you that I guarantee you're gonna love.
Get out special? Okay.
Yeah. How about a 5-star first-time starter?
Oh, all right.
Let me just verify.
Keep talking.
He's taking a little bit of action. Good trainer. and 15-1 morning line. Let me just look at scratches here. Okay. So, wait, I need to look at one more thing because I don't want to steer you wrong here.
Is Chad not here?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Who knows?
I would have, that may have made me bet against. Well, I did bet against, but I would have felt even better about it. It's like, oh, Chad's not here.
Yeah. So, okay. Let me share screen here. We just got to switch our tack for a second to Oaklawn Park if we can do that. So, John Ortiz as a firster in the last. We're about 9 minutes to race 9 at Oaklawn. This is in the 10th, but 5-star first-time starter, which our first-timers win at 5-star firsters win at 22%. Got some good numbers in terms of workouts, some fast workouts. John Ortiz, 12% first-timers overall, but this plus 44% impact, means you definitely get good prices. It's not like one of these trainers where they're all bet down. Now, the one thing that would concern me is he's clearly not targeting at Oaklawn, but it's the end of the meet. Just joke. It's Arkansas bred, so probably doesn't have an option to run anywhere but Oaklawn. And I think John Ortiz is a really good trainer.
Yeah, he's heating up.
My guess is he probably doesn't.
Yesterday.
Yeah, my guess is he probably doesn't have a lot of Arkansas breds. It's a 3-year-old filly, but to get her ready towards the end of the meet here. And basically, the 5-star deal, it's comparing, it's trying to project the workouts and everything else that we know to the rest of the field. The fact that it's 5-star is a good sign. And the sire stats are fine here. Daredevil, nothing special, but 10% winners, 15% winners in spreads. So yeah. And if you want to double into it, you got Skelly at 1-9 right here.
Oh.
In the 9th.
What's Camp Out's current price?
Well, we have to look at doubles right now.
Oh, they're in race neck. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway. Oh, there's the Turf Pick 3, $130.
Yep. I mean, it was all chalk, I think.
Yeah.
If not all chalk, it was the chalk won the first leg for sure. Second choice, middle leg. So.
Yeah. No, that was the 6th. Yeah, She's So Spicy was second choice. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, because they bet the 12, right? That was the race. Yeah. The 12 was favored.
All right. Well, that's just an aside if you want to do a detour. All right. So let's focus on the last here at.
Yeah, let's win this last.
All right. Yeah, it just seemed like there wasn't a lot of speed in here, so. But it's a little bit of take your pick, right? Who's going to get to the lead? The 11. Let me pull up the share screen here. So the 11, 7-2, but true odds are saying 2.6, and then the 1, 2-1, and true odds have it just underneath that. So this is one of those races I was kind of going back and forth on. It's like I think it really just comes down to who gets the lead.
Yeah, and I meant to look at the pace projector after the scratches. I imagine the 2 is still.
Yeah. the pace projector shows, you're talking about time form, the two in front with the 3, 5, 12 is the next tier. But I mean, you're projecting the 2 had some speed in a, synthetic route at Turfway, sat third from, broke from the outside, maybe it could have been more forward, and I don't know. There's just a lot of projection with all these. The 11 came out of the same race as the 2 at Turfway, but it off slow from gate, it says, and then kind of came on later. So, but the 11's coming off some nice quick workouts, 48.2, 47.2, 47.1. So the 11's probably got a lot more speed than what it showed. So I don't know where that leaves us.
I really thought the 1 would be odds on. And like I said, I was willing to, big carryover pool, get live to him. Would be thrilled to be holding a $15,000 ticket at odds on for what I put into it. I didn't really think I'd be excited from a win prospect, but the true odds say maybe clicks down to 9 to 5, currently 2 to 1. That's better than I was expecting.
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't really do a ton for me, but
yeah, I hear you.
I
had given the 7 a look. It's hard to, with the scratches, it's a little hard to say. Because it fuller field 12 to 1, I was like, yeah, okay, in the mix. Didn't want to double the cost of my ticket to get to him, but sort of on my radar as the day went on, depending on if I were live here or things I could do with him. But 7 to 1 feels maybe about right. I'm not excited, but it's an alternative at least.
Yeah. I liked him. I mean, it's just another one of those, little hard to, get excited, but
right. Yeah, it's just that type of race where I almost wish the 1 were odds on, because that definitely would, then the 7's probably 10 to 1. Get a little excited, but
well, how about we
12,
look at,
which, man, Cherie is just not going well. But
yeah,
the 12 was one of those that came up, I didn't deep dive after the scratches, but some of the stuff I run or look at that I'm able to scratch horses out. This one, for whatever reason, was a move up. And I don't know why. Someone who likes data and just kind of trusts looking at numbers, but I like being able, I do like looking at PPs, and I could say, oh, that's why it got that number, or that's why it's a 5-star. You kind of see where the story comes from in black and white. I don't with this one. I don't know why it kind of got pumped up with the scratches, but the drop in class can't hurt. Back on dirt, which clearly were the better races versus the maiden claiming at Turfway. Did actually press the pace last time, which hadn't done before, and that was first time at 2 turns. So, maybe that's part of it. Gets to move a little inside with the scratches.
Yeah. I mean, I literally think it's who's going to get the lead. If anybody can clear here, they could be formidable. And, so now you're getting down to jockey intent, and it's just a little tough to figure it all out.
Yeah.
but I like the 5 a little bit with the blinkers on. I don't know. Did he interest you at all?
No, admittedly. Just a second. Someone needs something. I'm just going to do this right here. Shared space, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, like the debut was so bad, but
Yeah.
was 37-1. The trainer
Right.
never wins first time out, and now you're getting Lasix. Blinkers are
Right.
going on. You get a weight break, and I don't
Mhm.
love the race. Like, you know, I'm talking about being excited about 2-1 on Abundance. So, I mean, there's reasons. Like, I mean, kind of similar to race 8, where I didn't like any of the horses who would run except one who's an okay price. Like, I don't mind using Roja there. He was the one I like best. But, you know, used 2 the first time starters, one who was completely dead on the board. And granted, the winner was 2, but he figured to be. Like, that made sense. Like, yeah, I get why people aren't betting this horse. So I feel like that was a missed opportunity. And I could see the same thing being in play after this. Like, well, why not a horse who had some changes for him dropping in class?
Yeah. And at that price, I mean, he doesn't have to win if you want to play some of the other wagers.
Yeah, I mean, it's that type of race for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, doesn't have to win, but I mean, even on Brisnet here, that debut was a 60, which I mean that's not going to get it done here. But you know, for being 11th of 12, beating 18, like that's not the worst speed rating I've seen. So
Yeah.
you know, you figure, yeah, there can be improvement here. Mile and an eighth on the dirt. Pedigree's fine for 9 furlongs. You're talking me into this one. What's the true odds? Yeah, 19.
There you go.
Maybe it's a one key 1-5 type of situation. Get the 5 in there.
Yeah. What's that paying?
1-5 is 69 for $1.
Let's see.
Yeah, you could do. I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty strong. 70-1. And we should mention that we're doing the webcast in partnership with AmWager. That's not that we're not using it a lot, but while we're showing all the benefits of AmWager, it's an awesome tool. And if you don't have an AmWager account, you can sign up and get a $150 bonus, which is pretty cool. So always good to get some free money in your account. And
yeah,
it's based on deposit and play, and there's technical details to all that, but it's a nice little bonus.
Yeah, a power box with the 5 and the 5 other logicals. Man, that's only $17.50. He feels like a separator in the exotics.
How about a super high 5?
Yeah, that starts to get a little more expensive.
Right. No, I'm joking. Well, I mean, if you can find some things to latch onto here, especially if the 1 doesn't win, some of the exotics could pay well. Did you make anything of this 13? I was trying to make a case for him. I thought, I don't know, his 2-turn race at Indiana was pretty decent. Well, relatively speaking. And then he, they ran here in October. This is pretty much the exact same condition, a mile and eighth for 20,000, and now they're coming back, right back to it. He did show some pace last time.
Which one is this?
The 13.
Oh yeah, you know that Scuba. That was and I kind of hinted at it, caught my eye with the 5, like Imperial Ruler's debut, which the running line looks terrible. It's kind of a quick race though, even in 11th. Scuba cannot say the same about, and the late pace in particular from Brisnet, like the anchor came out. Now he did get a layoff after that, so maybe tank was empty anyway. He was 25-1 that day, so whatever. But I did kind of think, like, looking at the 2, that can I make an excuse for seasonal debut off an 11th of 12th place finish? I did think the 5, especially after we were talking with getting the.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Irving Mikado, we saw it ourselves, the Turfway live streams we did, and I know trainers have legit spoken highly of him. I think he's gonna get every chance, even when he loses the bug. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, he's not afraid to send, is what you're saying. He did that at Turfway. A lot of races, It was game over. He took it over at the start. He's positioned somewhat on the inside.
Here on the debut was step slow. So I mean, who knows what the plan was on debut? Total wild card. I'm doing that bet.
Well, and that's another one where, like exacta wise, like you could bet him to win and then back him up in second in the exacta.
Yeah.
Although I tend to feel like
the power box.
Okay.
I'm getting the 5 in this number.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, this just as clear as mud who's going to get the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, and like with this group, I mean, I've definitely spoken of it at the mile and a quarter level, but with this group, even a mile and an eighth, like if you turn for home on the lead, I mean, who has heart in here that they're going to come get you?
Right, exactly. What about the 8? We haven't talked about him at all.
Yeah, I kind of thought that. Yeah. 7 lifetime starts, and now they're going out to 9 furlongs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like there aren't chances at Turfway is one of the few tracks that runs as many, if not more, 2-turn races as 1-turn races.
Right.
So it's not like there weren't opportunity. That said, what day was that? Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that 54-1 who won one of the earlier races, shipping from Turfway up in class as this one is.
Right.
So, if you kind of think there's some elixir of shipping down there, regardless of class, maybe worth a flyer. But yeah, this was one. It was kind of like,
Well, that one was drawn inside. He was coming out of sprints at Turfway like this one. He had a little more dirt form previous to that, and then his sprint form just translated to be on the lead in a route where nobody really went. So I think that same potential exists here. But yeah, it's a stretch for sure.
Yeah, it's a tough group. You've warned me to the 5 though.
All right.
And it is a gamble. It's not like one of those where, oh man, I'm so excited. Well, how is he not 8-1? But the imbalance of, okay, what has anyone else done versus this is
right.
No, Malcolm wants to see some horses.
I mean, I guess the part of it too is like, what's the chances that the 1 does nothing here?
Nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the most likely board hitter, right?
Yeah, for sure. But that being said, I mean, a mile and eighth, if he doesn't get to the lead, he starts taking dirt on the inside, and he's in 6th, and I don't know. I don't think that's exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I
Impressive.
mean, at this level, when they're done, they're done.
Yeah, I guess while I agree with you, he's the most likely board hitter, this is a race where the most likely board hitter doesn't mean a lot.
Right. Yeah. No, they get frustrated in 5th, get bumped a little bit, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 12, in theory, should show speed, but yeah. Man, that's a big price on that too. Just a lot of different ways to go here.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the 2 is projected loan speed based on time form. That's worth something, right?
Right. One, 2. And then, do you like the 3 at all?
I don't like the 3. I mean, 8 to 1. Kind of one of the ones taking money. I mean, I guess the thought there is if the deuce doesn't fire,
yeah,
he's the other speed. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to go for just a nice big superfecta. I'm going to key that 5 and 8 in, I think, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But also having them on the win, just in case it gets things get goofy.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get 1 and 5 in the number.
All right. I'm going to try to get 5 and 8 in the number. So.
All right.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
Especially if you're live in anything here.
I mean, whatever you're live in is going to be something.
Look at that. There's the 5.
Oh,
come on. Let's go. Don't dilly-dally.
Blinkers on, bug.
Yeah.
Lasix.
There you go. Now the question is, how fast are they going?
23 and 1. Yeah. I mean, like I said, in this position, you turn for home in front. Against some of these, it's, like right now, the back half of the field isn't going to win.
Right. $46 and change, though. Maybe they are going quick. But yeah, I would agree. This isn't like a bunch of closer types. I mean, one's in a good spot. So the question is,
no, now I'm cheering for the 5 to hang on for a slice. It doesn't look like that's in the cards.
I mean, he went hard.
He did.
Yeah. Let's see if he can hold off any of those.
They're all getting drunk.
Oh, the 11's coming, 12's coming.
No, 12's coming.
Yeah.
11
12,
broke
11.
terribly too. He may have been best. No,
All right, so pretty formful.
One's out of the money.
Well, that's what I was wondering about. Early on, it's looked like a good position, right, for him to be sitting in second. But once that 46 flashed, going 9 furlongs, that was too much. So, need Iran to be a better judge of pace than that.
It may have hit the panic button thinking the 5 was getting away, but 23-1 for the first quarter mile, I didn't mind because it's a straightaway.
Right.
I don't know what the run up is, but it's
Right.
like, all right, he got position. They went a little quick, but when the turn quarter mile, that second quarter, which is basically the whole turn, was 23-1. I was like, oh yeah, that's quick.
Womp womp. Yeah, they just all fell apart. The 5 ran well though, so that was got a little bit of excitement there. A little bit.
No, I mean at that price, you got in the race, and Foley's will be targeting Churchill, and he's not going to be 15-1 next time. But
there's a West Point winner.
Yeah, that's always good news for Cody.
Yeah.
So, well.
Yeah, I bet they would have not thought that the winner was going to. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they were hoping for integration and Northern Invader, not the maiden claimer in Alaska.
Right.
It's a win.
Yeah. No, I mean, you bring the clients out and stuff, and getting your picture taken. It's fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, cool. This has been a lot of fun.
We enjoy it.
Glad you could join from Keeneland, and we'll do it again Friday.
I'll be in the office next week. Good Friday.
All right. Very good. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Go check out AmWager and the $150 bonus to sign up if you haven't. And otherwise, hope you enjoyed it. And I learned a lot from watching you do the Dutching tool. So I got a lot of it.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, even obviously placing bets and hopefully winning them is the main goal. But even just seeing how adding horses and subtracting affects your payout, I think helps make you a better horse player. So
absolutely, that's the goal. All right, thanks everybody.
Take care.